Okay, this level is Cascade. If you ever hear a speedrunner talk about this level, it's probably not going to be something good. A lot of people consider this to be the hardest level in the game. The right amount of personalization, the right amount of setup, the right amount of practice. I wouldn't say you could make this level easier, but you could make other levels in the game look harder than it. So, starting from as soon as you get in the door, get safely away from the door, and then start holding up. The reason you're holding up is because you're going to grab onto the ladder, but not in the way that you might think. This is a visual cue setup, and feel free to find your own. There are many. To make sure that you sneak past the fireball while you're on the ladder. Know that you've set this part up correctly. This is very important. You need to do this properly. General cue for this is to hold up and right and jump as soon as I reach about the left leg of the ladder, maybe a tiny bit before. It should look like this. This is the perfect scenario. It should look like you almost haven't jumped at all. And it should just barely get you past. It should like burn the hair off of your arms. Continue holding right, and then just simply let go of up as soon as half of your body at least is above the little white platform. And this will ensure that you leave the ladder at the optimal time. This is where the level becomes a complete mess of visual cues, and this is where a lot of opinions get divided on what to look for. But these are my visual cues. I will be going over two different routes. One of them I made earlier today, which I think has a lot of potential, but I will show you the old one as well. So we're going to jump on this Goomba up there and then stand on the platform he's currently standing on, pretty much in the same place he's standing right now. And the way we're going to do that as quickly as possible, you look at this miscellaneous sports helmet on the ground. It's in a sort of plaque. The closer to the fireball you are as you go up the ladder, the further to the right your visual cue for this is going to be. The furthest left, like if you just get past the fireball, no big deal, not really in any sort of danger, but you know that you got the setup correctly. Then the right corner of the top edge is where you want to do this jump. This is where you want to switch from holding right to holding hard left and then jumping. But for this particular setup that I've got myself into, I'm going to be using the ultimate edge of the plaque that the helmet is contained in. In the very likely event that you just completely jump over the Goomba, you can make mid-air adjustments which are very easy. So you want to get right in the middle and then just stop holding anything, and right when you jump, or right before you jump on him, you just start holding left, and it should get you there. You can always make it work as long as you know that you're on the correct cycle. Now we're going to wait for this Goomba to come out the cannon. You're going to wait right on the edge until the Goomba is about here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to run and start running and jump off, but don't do an edge jump. As soon as you catapult yourself into this piece, as soon as you hear that it's been collected, since it's green, you want to do an X8 rewind, and your cue to stop the rewind is whenever this Goomba is transitioning from the top platform to the bottom, preferably while he's in midair. So you can turn around and get this key pretty much at the leftmost corner of this plaque. It's very strange, the key hitbox. Typically just do this and then just adjust for it by pressing right. Now once you're here, you're looking to get the perfect ring placement. The way that you can line this up, if I give myself a little bit of time here, because you are running against the clock. This sprite here, where the heel of my right shoe is exactly on the corner. This is the last frame, the last sprite, where if I press down, it will drop a ring. Otherwise, the game considers too much of my body to be over this pit, and the timing that you do this ring is fairly important. but what's most important is how quickly you line yourself up. The cannonball here, which you can watch when you jump down here, you watch for this cannonball, and you want to line yourself up on the perfect sprite for your ring before this cannonball gets to here. This is around where you want to drop your ring, or when you want to drop your ring. Slightly before with this strat. Got yourself lined up, you drop your ring at the right time. Cannonball goes in front of you. You run in, careful you don't get killed by this, and you line yourself up for this. I completely ignore Tim at this point. Tim is now lined up. His cock and balls are over the left fold. Perfect, that's exactly where I want him to be. Now all my attention is on this cannonball right here. There are 3 things in plaques in the middle of the hallway. The one on the bottom right and the space in between the 2 on the left are what you're going to be looking for. When the cannonball passes over the right pedal here, this is your cue to start holding right. When the cannonball reaches right in the middle of whatever that is, a wig or something, and the policeman hat, that's your cue to jump. If you did this correctly, you should fall perfectly into place, which is very crucial. And around halfway through this jump, you want to be holding up so that you just grab straight onto the ladder and then get straight off of it. It is very difficult to get a 1-cycle Goomba, but in the next cycle that I'm going to go over, it'll be far easier. I'm going to try and land right above this little diamond on the cannon. The middle of Tim is at the middle of this diamond. And now what you're looking for is when this Goomba replaces the head, and then you're going to hold right and then jump right on the edge of the cannon. Jump straight down. Now what you're going to do is, as soon as you get to the door, you're going to exit the door and re-enter the door. This is because your ring is still going to be right here. So if you were to go from that puzzle piece just straight to the right, you're going to get slowed down a lot because your ring's here. But exiting and then entering removes your ring without you having to do anything. So now I'm going to go over my new cycle. I mean, it's the same cycle, but it's a new setup. Everything from this point is the same. First time this becomes any different is after, or even during, the rewind as soon as I get that piece over there. Now, this is probably where the Goomba could be for the optimal rewind. This and the key turnaround that's coming up in a sec are all to give you more leeway to set your ring up properly. I cannot stress enough how important it is that you place your ring in the correct place, and not at the correct time, but before a certain time. This is where I rewound to. I jump straight onto the Goomba, and I want to pick this key up as fast as possible, so I go for the leftmost part of the plaque. I jump down, and now you're looking at this cannonball. You have until that cannonball reaches where this cannonball is right now to set your ring up. So you want to find that sprite. And it's in cases like this where it's so close to the correct pixel, but you just want to go back a little bit. Instead of rewinding, or instead of pressing right and then pressing left again to try and line it up, just tap right and then put the ring down. If you're confident that it's like a pixel away, just tap right. You don't need to be facing the correct direction. And now I'm going to put my ring down when the cannonball gets to the ladder. And then I'm going to jump over. Now this part's very important too. You want to AFK in the middle of the ladder, more specifically below the top fireball and above the bottom fireball. And your cue to get off the ladder by holding left will be when the cannonball that's about to come out of the cannon reaches the exact middle, directly under you, of the ladder. This hallway is going to happen in one continuous motion. Excellent timing. Now, that's kind of unfortunate. So, your hand is drawing the key back as you're moving forward, which means that you collide with the door before it opens. That's just very unfortunate, and to avoid it elsewhere in the game, in any case that you can jump while opening a door with a key, you should, because this cannot happen while you're in midair. Unfortunately, I can't jump in this hallway, so you might think I'm screwed. But what I can do is I can keep holding left, but just tap right. And it's as easy as that. So this right here is the opposite end of the scroll. This fold here is where you're going to jump. Keep holding left until you run straight into the wall. The closer you cut the fireball, the longer you want to hold left after you hit the wall, the maximum being barely half a second. Half a second is probably way too much. It's very get a feel for it kind of thing. And then right in the middle of this headdress is your cue to jump. If you're sitting on the ladder right in the middle of both the fireballs, then you get off the ladder right as the fireball is directly beneath you in the middle of the ladder. You will be able to go straight to the wall as soon as you hit it, turn back, hit the lever, jump in the middle of the thing, and hold right all the way up until this ladder, and you will get out. How you know that you can go for this is when you land here, this Goomba should be freshly launched out of the cannon. Preferably a little bit sooner than this. Like, you want to land just as he's coming out rather than he's already in the air. You want to jump onto the cannon around in between these two little diamonds here. You want to land around this rightmost ring on the cannon. Then you want to immediately turn right as soon as you know that you've landed on it. You want to run up on the cannon until you feel that holding right is giving you a little bit of pushback, a little bit of resistance. That's your cue to jump. So let's do a run through that one.